Hey friends, Mark Holmes here, my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Report. So it's Pro Bowl selection night, and it's going to be interesting to see how many Dallas Cowboy players get into the Pro Bowl. So definitely Sean Lee's got to be there. We know Elliott's going to be there. We know that Dak's going to be there. How many of our offensive linemen should be there? It's going to be interesting to see. I think in 2007 we had, see how many we have. I think we had 13 Pro Bowlers in 2007. It'll be interesting to see if we beat that. Now, I don't think that we're going to have a lot of, well, hello, Jonathan and Letitia. I don't think we're going to have quite 13 because I don't think on our defense we're going to have that many. I don't think part of the problem with the Dallas Cowboys being so successful is everything's even. You don't have Dez Bryant having a season like Antonio Brown. So when you look at his numbers, they're not that great. Same thing with Cole Beasley and Jason Witten and all those guys. So collectively, they're fantastic, but as individuals, they're not getting that many yards. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah, put the whole team in. Well, quite honestly, you could almost say that 4 of our offensive linemen, Leary has played fantastic this season, coming in after Collins got hurt. And, of course, Travis Frederick, of course, Tyron Smith, and Martin. I mean, literally all 4 of them should be in the Pro Bowl, but we'll see if that happens or not. Yeah, it's on NFL Network, and instead of just giving you everybody, they're just basically talking and just doing a whole lot of BS. You know, that's what the NFL has gotten to now, that they can sell anything and we'll watch it. David Irving is basically in a backup role. I don't think he's going to be in the Pro Bowl with 3 sacks. Although I did a video on him yesterday. He's got all kinds of potential. He's one of those guys that Rod Martinelli is getting a lot out of. Well, here's the thing. Hopefully, none of our guys will be playing in the Pro Bowl because they will be getting ready for the Super Bowl. How you doing tonight, Daryl? It's this year they're going back to the original format where it's NFC versus AFC. They're not doing the good old draft thing with the celebrity coaches and stuff, which got to be ridiculous. Here's the thing, guys. Basically, getting nominated for Pro Bowl is what you really want. Then the guys really want to play with them. And since it's in Jacksonville this year as opposed to being Hawaii, I doubt any of them really want to go. Because, see, at least I've been to Pro Bowl twice in Hawaii. Actually, I'm sorry. I've been to Pro Bowl once in Hawaii. And it's basically like a vacation for the guys. You know, you want to go to Hawaii. You get your wife and the kids and all that. You know, it's not really a game. It's, more fun than anything else. But when you're talking about going to Florida, most of these guys aren't looking to go to Florida this time of year. They want like a real vacation. I think we could have more than 5 on the offense. I think we could have actually about 6 or 7. Sandman, I'm hoping that we can get Collins in there playing tackle because Doug Free has been the weak spot. But while we're waiting for them to actually announce something, what do you guys think about what Jerry Jones has been doing with the whole stirring shit up controversy? I did a video yesterday about it, and I think it's terrible, to be quite honest. That's just really just using and abusing your players. And I've always said that with whatever Jerry Jones says, just take it with a grain of salt because Jerry's going to be Jerry. He's going to do his thing. But the team, generally speaking, does something different. Dread out, yeah, he's getting old, but you know what? He's a genius as far as making money. And he is making a ton of money. And look, everybody was chasing after the story of Tony Romo versus Dak Prescott. People took it hook, line, and sinker. Well, at the moment, we don't have a replacement for Doug Free. Collins may be. Well, they'll probably definitely put Gregory out there to with Demarcus Lawrence hurt. Um, they'll probably definitely put him out there to see what he's got, see if he can give us any push. I mean, it's worth a shot. I don't agree with it too much because you're basically rewarding a guy who's going to be suspended next year. Yeah, Jerry Jones definitely 5 rings. Jerry Jones definitely has a sick mind. But here's the thing, Jerry. I don't know if he meant to do that or not because when you look at all the stuff that he stirred up about AP, you look at all the stuff he stirred up about Johnny Manziel and talking, they had to take the card away from me and everything else. It's like, Jerry, were you really that dumb? And even with talking about RG3, he was talking about those guys when Tony Romo was expected to come back. So this isn't anything new. It's not that he's treating Dak or Tony like this. It's just the way he is. And actually, when you think back when we drafted Troy Aikman, we turned around and took Steve Walsh. Just so happened that Troy Aikman was a better player and took it over. Well, Jesse, here's the thing. Jerry basically is going to be Jerry. He's going to talk a whole lot of smack. He's going to end up being the way he is, and there's nothing going to change that. He's going to end up doing that same stupid stuff, trying to get the headlines, trying to be, the Jerry Jones that we all know, and that's not going to change. So he's not calling the shots like he used to, and thank God he's not, because you got Will McRae, who's been in there, who is the head of the scouting department. He's taking care of business there and doing the right thing as far as talent-wise. You got Stephen Jones, who's more fiscally conservative as far as how they're spending their money. You're looking at the contracts now being made. They're not like they were when we signed Miles Marion Barber. And those were like guys that got rewarded for one good season. And then all of a sudden you were stuck for years. Even though they weren't even on the team. We literally were in salary cap hell because of these crazy contracts that Jerry Jones made. We're not doing that anymore. We're not out looking for that big splash of free agency like the Redskins do every year. So, Jerry's going to be the owner till the day he dies. And he's going to be talking crazy stuff till the day he dies. But he's not the one that's actually making the calls anymore. And that you got to feel good about. The interesting thing, too, is I'm going to probably do a video later about it. But when I was doing the Banana Show last night, I'm based here outside of Washington, D.C. For me, that a lot of the sports talk groups are talking about Dak Prescott is still a dink and dunk quarterback with a 7.9 per completion average. So I started doing some research into that, and it'll be interesting to how you doing, Robert? To bring you my findings on that number. But yeah, that 7.9 is pretty interesting. And what I'm beginning to learn, and I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to be the fact checker, so to speak, because there's a lot of stuff that you hear from these talking heads on TV, from Stephen A. Smith to, all of these nuts, is a whole lot of bullshit that they're doing to grab headlines when the reality is a lot different. When you start listening to some of these arguments that the guys are making for Tony Romo, none of these things make any sense unless you listen to some of these talking shows where they basically are telling you and feeding you a whole bunch of bullshit. The same guys that used to say that Tony Romo was a choker, even though he had more comebacks than anybody else in the NFL at that time. So they're going to say whatever it takes to get you to the point of getting you to listen. Whether or not it's actually true, that's a different story. Let's see. Pro Bowl, we got Bobby Wagner, Luke Klitzing. Okay, Pro Bowl tickets are, of course, on sale. The NFL will sell anything and everything. In fact, I heard today they're going to be selling 6,000 tickets to the Combine. That's right. You can buy tickets to watch them work out. Let's see some of the questions we have in here. Boy, you guys, Bill, you guys are really observant. Yeah, um, we're doing like a garage slash man cave for this guy, and he is literally. I put almost 1,500 feet of electrical wiring in this garage. We put in a two zone heat kit in there for the upstairs, and we built a whole loft for it. So this is going to be his car garage that he's going to work on cars, and then a workshop upstairs. He's got a refrigerator. He's running data cables, TV cables, and everything else. I mean, this is literally going to be his escape. So you guys really just don't miss anything, do you? Somebody caught me yesterday kind of rubbing my nuts there. So excuse my language if any ladies are watching. You know, say, man, we haven't had any big special teams play. You're right. It is about time for one. Hopefully, it'll be during the playoffs for a big special team play. Um, what do I think about trading Des Bryant and drafting another receiver? Well, I'll tell you what, Des does have a huge contract, and if you were able to move that contract and get good value as far as trade, that's something that could be a possibility. But the it's one of those things that I'm torn because Des has helped the offense a lot, him coming back, contrary to what a lot of the talking heads are saying. But how many teams with diva wide receivers have you seen win them all? That's my question. Because you see a lot of great wide receivers out there, like your TOs, like your Megatrons. You know, your really isn't a diva, but he's one of those great wide receivers. But not too often do you see them winning at all. So the question is, are you better off trying to move a Des Bryant, saving about $14 million dollars in the cap, spending that money elsewhere, and drafting? That's going to be an interesting one that I don't want to touch right now. You know, LaFlame, we always say that people will be a cowboy for life. The reality is, very few of them are a cowboy for life. Um, you could have said that about Tony Romo before this season, and more likely, he's gone. You could have said that about DeMarco. Excuse me, not DeMarco. Well, you should have said that about DeMarco Murray, but DeMarcus Ware, he went. Emmett Smith, Tony Dorsett. The list goes on about players that you thought would be a cowboy for life, but ended up not being. But here's the thing that I love about Des lately. Des has matured a lot because you look at the way he has been supporting Dak Prescott. He has been behind him 100%. In fact, his whole basically FU bandwagon fan. And we do have a lot. Well, you got to be kidding me, no Sean Lee. I haven't even been looking that hard. Let's see. That's AFC. Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, Tyron Smith. Okay. The usual three on the offensive line. Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, two Redskins. Wow. Trent Williams and Brandon Sharif. Now that's going to be interesting at the Pro Bowl. All right. Running backs, we know Zeke's going to be one. We know Le'Veon Bell was going to be one. That has to be a mistake that Sean Lee did not make it because he is second in the NFL in tackles. Hey, Sarah, don't want to miss you. That can't be. Let me look up the list. Of course, Zeke. We knew Zeke was going to make it. I tell you what. To me, Sean Lee is a. Sean Lee should be defensive MVP. If he it wasn't like the Pro Bowl, that's sad. See if we can get the whole list up here. No, they haven't put it online yet. Well, actually, I think it probably did make Des humble himself a little bit because when you think about how he's been coming back, after some of these wins, it's like, you know what? I don't care about how many catches I catch as long as we win. And I think he wants to get that ring as well as, a lot of guys in the team. They realize it's more about the team than it is um, my own personal records. Um, yeah, Sean Lee second in tackles. Oh, Anthony Brown for a rookie. Oh my God, he's playing better than one of our best quarterbacks. He has done far and away better than anybody you could think of. And when you think about this draft, it's still early to tell. You really have to look 3 years down the road because after RG3's first year, everybody thought that they had a great draft. But when you think about having Elliott, you think about having Dak Prescott, when you think about having Anthony Brown, when you look at Collins, who's coming along, these are guys that have all had valuable contributions to the team. And when you think that, Jalen Smith, if he can get healthy, this may be one of the best drafts that the Dallas Cowboys has ever had in history. And they've had some incredible drafts. Oh no, Chris, nobody said to bench Dez Bryant. Are you kidding me? How you doing, Alex? What does Joby want for Christmas? Real simple, Super Bowl. Um, yeah, the Cowboys have to. Yeah, right. Um, well, hello, Herrera. Sorry, my eyes. My glasses are upstairs. I have this terrible headache. Mo Claiborne won't replace Carr. He'll play the opposite of Carr when he comes back. And the thing you have to wonder, though, with as much time as Brandon Carr has missed, is I'm hoping he comes back sooner than later because you don't want him to just come back and start playing in the playoffs. You can't just turn it on and turn it off and expect a guy to jump in to be able to play right away. I'm still trying to say I can't believe Sean Lee isn't picked. Well, the thing that bothers me about Dez lately is Dez seems to have dropped a lot of passes, and he's got to get that corrected because he's been open, he's had the ball right in his hand, and he's had a lot of drops. Kind of reminds me of To. Well, it's possible that Jalen Smith never plays again, but people say a lot of stuff, so you can't always go by what you hear somebody talking because in the same way we end up having a lot of fake news that brought us during the presidential election. We have a lot of fake news in sports. I choose to try and bring you stories that are real, and I try not to do clickbait and things. So that's not everybody. A lot of times you'll see stuff and it looks legitimate, and it's really BS. I don't think the Houston Texans would take Romo Des for Hopkins. Has Jobu been a good voodoo doll? Okay. It depends on who you ask. Some Redskin fans will say no. Well, Stephen A. Smith is biased. Stephen A. Smith realizes that I can get rich and a lot of attention talking about the Dallas Cowboys. I think inside he's really a Dallas Cowboy fan. In fact, the Dallas Cowboys have made him what he is today. So I don't think there's any real hate there. I look at it as it's a reality show that is done for a reaction. They're not real. You notice how every conversation, they are always on the opposite ends of each other. Basically, they go ahead, I think, and just say, here's the script for the day, and this is the side of the argument that you have to make. And it's not about actually having an opinion, it's actually about doing stuff for ratings. How about the Washington Redskins? Here it is. We did them a favor. got them to the point where they were the sixth seed. All they had to do was take care of business. And what do they do? Jordan Reed goes ahead and throws a punch and gets kicked out of the game. I mean, they are just the accident. That is the accident waiting to happen that Stephen A. is always talking about. I agree with you on Skip Bayless. I think Skip Bayless and Stephen A. were better together than apart. I really don't like Skip's Undisputed that much. Shannon Sharp just gets underneath my skin too much. See, man, that's a good question. Why we don't run the screen slants to Dez anymore? That's a really good question. I don't know why they haven't. I think they like hitting the slants with Cole Beasley because Cole gets in there. He's small. He's hard to get seen, and he's kind of taking over that spot. Oh, believe me, I love Dez. I love Dez's passion. I think Dez gets a bad rap. I think the media goes after Dez because it's Dez Bryant and they can make headlines. When you think about the whole, there was a tape coming out, that whole witch hunt and stuff, and basically trashing him. You never heard any of those guys say, "Oh, we were wrong," but yet they soiled his reputation. Um, I said earlier today about Cam Newton. I don't know if it's the officials have it out, if the NFL have it out for Cam Newton, but the beating that he has taken this year it's crap, man. I mean, for him to get a penalty last night after getting hit in the head for flipping the ball at the guy is completely ridiculous. And it's sad because unfortunately they don't look at Cam Newton as a quarterback. They say, "Oh, he's big. He's 6'4", 240 pounds. He's bigger than running back." So, there's a different standard, but it should be a different standard. He's a quarterback who's standing there vulnerable, and these are the rules, and they should apply the same for everybody. How do I feel about Max? He's another tool for the show, and he's the New York Giant fan and is going to hate the Cowboys. I still think most of that's just fake drama. Who the Cowboys target the draft? Well, I'm going to be working on the draft and stuff. Of course, after the season is over, I'm thinking about actually going up to the draft again this year. It's in Philadelphia, just about 2.5 hour drive away, and do some Joe Boo reports and stuff from there. Um, we've got to target the defensive line. That's defensive line and probably quarterbacks because more than likely Morris Claiborne won't be back next year because when he's played fantastic this year, but he's only been able to play half this year, and that's been unfortunately his MO is he can't stay healthy. Um, here, what do I think Stephen A. Smith's reaction will be when we win the Super Bowl? If you notice what's happening is he is basically laying the ground rules to make a change. His whole thing of, it was a Cowboy girlfriend that got me to hate the Cowboys. I don't hate the Dallas Cowboys. I like Zeke Elliott. I like Dak Prescott. Des Bryant's my boy, throwing up the X. It's the fans I don't like. He's laying the ground rules that by the end of the season, you watch. The Redskins will be his accident waiting to happen, and the Dallas Cowboys will be his team. You watch. You heard it from me first. Ryan, you're right. Atlanta's defense stinks. Um, the interesting thing with the teams, when you start looking at the teams right now, um, Molly is fine. Oh my God. I had breakfast with Molly one time. She was going to do some work. Whew, good Lord, she is incredible. But I digress. I just lost my train of thought there, guys. Thanks a lot. Um, well, you're right. A Pro Bowl defensive end is one of the hardest things to come by. It's very, very true. But here it is. We got to get one. If we can get a pass rush, that's going to make that back end even better. When you start looking at having Byron Jones, Anthony Brown back there. You look at some of the role players that you have with if Demarcus Lawrence can get healthy. You look at how some of the other players are coming along. You just need that one piece to bring it all together. Oh, buddy, Chris White, you are so wrong because I can tell you for a fact I walked behind her down the street, and I think I actually have some pictures there. I may have to try and pull out. But no, you would be completely wrong on that one, Chris White. But we're not talking about Molly. Does Dak have a strong arm? Yes, he definitely has a strong arm. You've seen him throw the ball 55 yards like a bullet. Time will tell if he can be in the ring of honor, but we'll see. Okay. Well, everybody has their own opinion on Molly. I'm going to tell you, she's fine. Um, what I think Randy Gregory will do for us in the playoffs? Not much. That's my opinion. Oh yeah, Joe Boo definitely likes Molly. Uh, well, sometimes you can just have a bad season. I think Charles Tapper will be okay. Just give him some time. Sometimes you just have little freak injuries, and it's just hard to get going. And I'm sitting here looking at all these. I have no idea who's been picked. Well, we know Julio Jones is going to be. Do I think the Dallas Cowboys need a pass rusher? Hell yes. We definitely can always use it. Although our defense has been coming around and playing much, much better. And you also have to look at the competition that we've been playing week after week. We're getting teams' best shots, and we're playing teams that are, fighting for playoff positions, all winning teams. We're not playing any dogs anymore. We knew we weren't going to get any wide receivers because everybody is pretty much even on our team, distribution wise. Pretty much Odell Beckham and Julio Jones are the whole offense as far as those teams are concerned. Uh-oh, something happened to my chat. Somehow, guys, I've lost my chat. Let's see if we can get back to. Let me try and readjust here. Technology sucks. Ah, there we go. Oh, I wasn't going to do a call in tonight. I've got this bad headache. We'll do a call in when we do Friday night show. How's that? Well, we'll definitely be drafting late in the rounds without a doubt because of our record. If we end up winning the Super Bowl, then we'll be the last pick of the first round. He may be gone before that time. Yeah, David. Well, the whole defense. David Irving is playing lights out right now, but you have to look at the whole defense. The defense is coming together at the right time. That's when you want to be peaking going to the playoffs. And like I always say, in the beginning of the year, people get too excited and they get too upset by how the team's playing in September. You need some of those games in September, but it's not really that great of a barometer to know what kind of team you have. The Philadelphia Eagles were 3-0 and thinking that they were going to be in the playoffs, and you look what's happened to them. They basically took a nosedive. Oh, Dan Bailey, yeah, Dan Bailey's actually had some back problems this year and has been up and down a bit. I mean, we saw the two missed field goals this week, but Dan Bailey is always going to be a good benefit. Sarah, have a great night, Sarah. Thanks for stopping in. Um, I don't know. Doug Free could be replaced by La'el Collins, but what you're going to have to start doing is you're going to have the running back giving him help, or leave a tight end in to help a little more when you get to against elite teams, pass rushers. Bill B, you're right. It sucks getting old, and I'm getting old and forgetful my damn self. Byron Jones is probably one of the most underrated safeties in the NFL, if you ask me. Well, the loss to the Giants could be good because you look how the team came out against Tampa Bay, got them refocused and realized they have to do more than just show up. And it is always hard to beat a team three times in 1 year, and as that proved with us in 2007, we were 13-3, number one seed. Giants come in after the wild card round and kicked our ass, even though we beat them twice in the season. So who knows? Monday night's game prediction: pain. Hamburgers or hot dogs? Ooh, how about a hamburger with a hot dog on top of it? Yeah, Randy Gregory is able to back to practice and he can play as Jerry Jones, but who's listening to Jerry Jones says that he'll be playing the next 2 weeks. Thank you, Michael, for enjoying the content. I'm going to continue to keep trying to bring you guys good stuff. I'm looking at different ways that we can do more with other events and things. This year's been kind of a rough year for me, so I haven't been to as many games as I like to. I usually try and go to at least 2 or 3 regular season games, but I will be at the Super Bowl, and hopefully the Dallas Cowboys will be there. I'm looking at going to the draft again this year, hopefully. I'm debating on if I want to try and go to the combine and cover that. I mean, that would be a big waste of money for glorified workouts. But um, Curtis Blow, Curtis Blow. I don't know if you're a bigger fan than me or not, but if you are, then hats off to you. Dread out. You can't punch Jerry Jones in the face, man. What's up? Um, The Giants get. What's amazing is how fast that they went after the Giants on the fine there for that walkie-talkie gate. How long did we deal with the deflate gate? Seemed like that was going on for years, but it was just like literally in a week, boom, it shut down the Giants. Claiborne possibly may be practicing this week. If not, they're thinking next week. I think Zeke is better. Zeke is faster. Murray, you could, as they said, would leave stuff on the table. He didn't have that breakaway speed like Zeke has. Zeke, if he gets out there and gets that, boom, he's gone. He's got that hurdling ability. I think Zeke is far and away better. Am I going to continue answering Romo questions, or is the fan? It's a distraction. It's something to talk about. It's the reason a lot of people are saying that I'm just attacking Tony Romo, and it's not a matter of me just attacking Tony Romo. It's just that people have been coming at me with a lot of misinformation and revisionist history. And when you say that Tony Romo is a far superior quarterback, one way you're saying superior kind of gets underneath my skin. And I'm looking at the numbers, and quite frankly, Tony Romo's best season, Dak is pretty much the same thing, everything on that list except for touchdown passes. The yards per completion is exactly the same. Dak's QBR is higher. His interception rate is lower. So, all these people were thinking that Tony Romo should be in there because he's so far away better. I'm kind of trying to say, not that I'm dissing Tony Romo because he's done fantastic things. It's just like you're not really going to make that big an impact by changing because the numbers are pretty similar. And you're talking about putting a guy in who hasn't played for over a year, who 3 out of the last 5 games got hurt. So let's get a dose of reality here. It's not that you're bringing Joe Montana in his prime. And it just kept bugging me because they kept telling me, you're an idiot. You don't know Jack. So I was like, okay, I got to go ahead and put it out there the way I don't want to put it out there. Yeah, that's hard to believe that Sean Lee is not in the Pro Bowl. What will probably happen is, of course, as people end up being injured and don't go, there's people that are always added for the next couple of weeks or so. How can we clinch home field advantage when one more game is all we have to do? What's up, Rick? Defensive backs. Let's see if we get any D-backs at least. It would be good for Dez to just hold on to the ball and step up his game. Would be fantastic. Um, well, with the records that Dak Prescott has broken, if he ends up winning one more game, he's tied Big Ben for the rookie record, winning 13 games. You look at the numbers and the records and stuff, you might have to say he has been the best rookie. I can't think of any rookie that's played better. Jerry pretty much, Robert A. Man, Steven runs the team. Jerry is the face of the franchise. He's the talking head of the franchise, but Steven is taking care of running business. Chris, how do you get 11 games? He's played 14 games, first of all. Um, and we're talking about rookies. You judge him for what he's doing right now with the team that's there. Because here's the thing with football. Next year, you can be totally different than you were this year. You can have a great year one year and all of a sudden fall off the earth the next. Look what happened with Peyton Manning in the course of 2 years of being in Denver. Who's to say that hasn't happened with Tony Romo? You look at what happened with RG3 from his rookie year to the next year. It's true. Anybody can drop off. But right now, at this moment, Dak Prescott has got the team behind him and playing well, and you don't mess with that in the NFL because seasons like this one are few and far between. Who do I prefer as the number two running back? Right now, oh boy, McFadden or Morris? Shoo. McFadden hasn't played enough for me to really make a call. Morris has been steady. He's going to get you 3.5, 4 yards a carry or so. He's going to be able to pound it in there. McFadden, you don't know how much rust he really has. Um, yeah, but we can't keep reliving the Green Bay. That game is gone, unfortunately. We can't change that. Space Cowboy, I said that weeks ago that I could see them doing a co-MVP because really, it's like, should it be Dak? Should it be Zeke? And it's like, really, you can't have one without the other, at least in my mind. And it would be cool as could be for them both to be co-MVPs on the same team. And to me, the NFL is looking for different ways to, you know, do something different. Well, I guess that sounded retarded, different ways of doing something different. But that would be one of those things that would be like, that's perfect. Um, Dak is not going to be another RG3. RG3, here's the thing about RG3. He benefited from the offense being a different offense. It's kind of like when the Wildcat came out. Because teams didn't know how to defend it, the pistol was the same way. You looked at DeMarcus Ware playing against the Redskins, and they would go ahead and do that read option. He just literally just stood there because he didn't know, do I go to the running back? Do I go to the court? What do I do? It wasn't that his ability was the complete driver for it. It was something different that defensive coordinators weren't able to figure out right then and there. But what they learned is if you knock the snot out of the quarterback, then they're not going to be running it too often. Dude, Sandman, I don't know what Sean Lee has to do at this point to get any respect because the season that he's had is just unbelievable. I mean, he's got 140 tackles. You know, wow, that's a shocker. That is truly a shocker. But you know what? That may be one of those drivers that, no respect, that'll motivate the hell out of it. Wow. Um, I think you have to let Romo go if you can't trade him, because after what's happened with Jerry Jones this past week, basically using him as I put it, a circus sideshow. It's not good for the Cowboys. It's not good for him. It's not good for anybody to do what he's doing. So I think he has to go. Yeah, I think I'll be doing a video about Sean Lee because it's that's pretty freaking fucked up that he's not in the Pro Bowl. You know, DK Montgomery. Here's the thing: everybody keeps talking about Dak Prescott as a dink and dunk quarterback, but take a look at Tom Brady. Take a look at Joe Montana. That's exactly the same game that Dak Prescott plays. And everybody keeps saying he doesn't throw the deep ball. Well, here's the thing: the deep ball is beautiful. It's a great thing to see that high flying, reach up, big play, but it's a high risk play. If you can go ahead and make 10, 15, 20-yard plays consistently driving down the field, wearing out a defense, taking your time scoring, that's a better play than a 50-yard bomb that now puts your defense back out on the field. So people who keep saying that he's a dink and dunk quarterback don't really have a clue because his 7.9-yard completion is fifth in the NFL. So there's a lot of misconceptions out there about Dak Prescott. It's sad. Yeah, and we haven't given up a 100-yard rusher all season, which is phenomenal. But nobody talks about that. Our pass defense is a little bit worse, but mainly because the Cowboys have been in the league and lead in most of their games, and teams are trying to catch up, so they're passing more. So it's a little bit deceptive. What could Cowboys get for Romo? Hopefully, a draft pick, like a two or a second draft pick, would be fantastic. Yeah, Stephen A. Smith said, again, that's some more drama to get you watching because now he knows that Cowboy fans have gotten tired of hearing about the accident waiting to happen. Now it's the fear and we have to stop him. He's just changing his skit up so that way people will listen. Hi, Nina. Um, I don't have a story about Emerson Walls. I haven't had a chance to meet Emerson. Um, yeah, Curtis Blow, we definitely have some great coaches right now, but you know what's going to be happening with the way the team is playing? We're going to be losing a lot of those players. I mean, a lot of those coaches. Defensive lineman, Gina. Okay. Forget the AFC. Get back to the NFC. I still can't believe that we lost. Don't have Sean Lee. So, anybody out there have a total? Because I've been talking to you guys. I haven't actually been paying attention to the show. Anybody have a total on the number of Pro Bowlers that the Dallas Cowboys have? Offensive line. Okay. Dak Prescott. Yay. That's one. Elliott, two. Go on. We know we have three offensive linemen. We knew we weren't getting any wide receivers. Stories about Leon Lett, Tyron Smith. We knew he was going to be there. We knew Zach Martin was going to be there. Raiders have the most at seven. So we must have six then, I guess. Did we get anybody on defense? Yeah, I think we got hosed on this one. All right. So we know. Um, so we know there's no respect for the Dallas Cowboys or the defense. I guarantee you, watch the last couple of games in the playoffs that the Dallas Cowboys defense, my black sheep, are going to be on a mission. So that's enough of these guys. I am going to go ahead and nice Jolly Joe Boo. Of course, he's getting ready for Christmas. Somebody said, "Oh my God, you took off Dak's jersey." It's like, no, Dak's jersey is still on up underneath there. He is not taking this jersey off, not until I have the off season. So I'm gonna go ahead and wind this up. I've got some work I got to do. As always, guys, thank you guys for watching and being part of the Joe Boo Report. And if I can get back to the page here, I'm going to end this up tonight. And I want to thank you guys all for the response, all of the great questions, and being part of the Joe Boo Report, because without you guys, this would be absolutely positively nothing. And it's growing like crazy. And hopefully, we can just take over the NFL. And if I can get back in here, and here we go. Guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, the Dallas Cowboys get no respect, and I think I'll have a video up showing some of the highlights of Sean Lee and why the voters are just idiots. So we'll keep on spreading the mojo, and we will see you guys tomorrow.